17 can be compromised.
I can be you.
The trick used to reel you in. Monday on ABC 7 News at 6.
Good morning, America. This morning, devastation in the ashes. Exhausted firefighters battling those wildfires in California, in the north and in the south, as we get a sense this morning of all that's been destroyed.
This is what's left of the cardiology unit. You can see twisted steel and debris.
The state's most destructive fire ever. Communities reduced to rubble as the death toll rises dramatically overnight.
Celebrity escapes. Stars like Robin Thicke and Khloe Kardashian forced from their multi-million-dollar neighborhoods, overtaken by the massive fire. This actress watching her home burn down on TV.
It was very sad when I saw my house burning.
Plus, did the iconic Bachelor Mansion survive the flames?
Recount underway. The Florida Senate and governor's race is too close to call. The slimmest of margins separating the candidates, the concession taken back.
I am replacing my words of concession.
Amid accusations of voter fraud, how long it could take before winners are determined.
And the ABC News exclusive, Michelle Obama opening up to Robin Roberts, sharing the hurt she says she suffered on her husband's campaign trail.
I need to talk about it. I need to put it out there for myself so that I can heal from it.
Why she hasn't spoken about it until now.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Good morning on this Veterans Day. The president taking part in a solemn remembrance marking the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. We'll have more on that in a few minutes. But first, that breaking news in California where several devastating wildfires are raging.
Just awful. A warning this morning of extremely critical conditions that could lead to volatile fire behavior. Firefighters facing a difficult battle in the coming hours after trying to gain as much ground as possible during a brief break from the winds.
Here's what we know right now. In Northern California, at least 23 people now confirmed dead as a result of the Camp Fire. There have been 108 missing persons reports, but those calls could be multiple people calling about the same person. Nearly 6,500 homes destroyed, and it's only 20% contained. Meanwhile, in Southern California, investigators say there are 2 deaths related to the Woolsey fire. 250,000 people have been ordered to evacuate there, and that fire is only 5% contained.
We have team coverage. Let's go right now to Rob, who's in Malibu with that serious threat firefighters are facing this morning. Rob.
Well, Eva, it's going to be the winds are going to be the problem once again. They're going to pick up here in the next few hours, and firefighters are going to be scrambling again. We may very well see more new fires spark here in the next 48 hours. The winds have calmed in the last 24 hours. That gave firefighters a bit of a break, and they're very thankful here at Pepperdine University, where yesterday at this time we were watching firefighters on the ground and from the air scrambling to knock down the fire around Pepperdine University, where students were sheltering in place. They are grateful this morning, but the damage has been done in so many neighborhoods across so many parts of Northern and Southern California. For more on what happened with this fire in a burned neighborhood, let's get it over to Matt Gummit this morning. Hello, Matt.
Hey, Rob, we're not too far away from where you are. And that jet engine roar you hear behind me, that is a natural gas leak. Firefighters tell us we're actually okay here, but it gives you a sense of the scale, the historic proportions of this fire. 250,000+ people have been evacuated in this area in Southern California. Hundreds of homes destroyed, and firefighters describe what went through here as a hurricane of fire, obliterating entire neighborhoods. And with our second camera, I just want to show you what's left of this house. All that remains is that chimney over there, and we're going to swing over this side. This is the next door neighbor, another structure completely leveled, and beyond you can see additional fires. This goes on block after block here.
This morning, the massive Woolsey fire exploding in size northwest of Los Angeles, clogging the sky with vast thunderheads of smoke visible as far as the eye can see.
Flames and the heat are very, very powerful.
Fueled by fierce winds since Thursday, the blaze devouring hundreds of homes, reducing once stunning estates atop scenic mountain ridges into little more than concrete pads littered with piles of debris.
We're in total shock right now.
We survived other fires with our homes, but unfortunately the fires were so strong that it just took the house down.
We covered the destruction early yesterday morning. We came across one of those houses as it was burning.
Firefighters are so stretched, they're just abandoning homes like this that have mostly burned already. There's no point in even trying to battle flames like this intense and this dangerous. This entire neighborhood has been absolutely devastated here. All of these multi-million-dollar homes completely charred.
Just after daybreak, the winds died down and we went back.
It's a few hours later here, and there's nothing left of this two-story structure. It's entirely gone.
We embedded with Fire Chief Eleni Pappas scouting the debris. With her, we found Kent Kriggs, his entire neighborhood gone.
How much are these homes worth?
That one was for sale for $5.2 million. There was one that was just sold for like $6.5 million over there. This one was valued at like $6.5 million.
At nearby Pepperdine University, students sheltering on campus during the fire's worst hours
The sky is really red.
now told it's safe enough to go home. Some finally speaking out about the ordeal.
It is really scary. It feels very apocalyptic to see smoke even just coming over the hill. I am grateful to have been in a location where all of us were together.
And now, in addition to that blaze, local authorities now finding themselves in a political spat with President Trump. He called out forest management on Saturday, tweeting again this morning, "With proper forest management, we can stop the devastation constantly going on in California." The president of the California Professional Firefighters Association responding to the controversy, saying the president's message is ill-informed, ill-timed, and demeaning to those who are suffering, as well as to the men and women on the front lines.
One reason that firefighters are so upset when they hear that is that we're told by fire chiefs that the suicide rate among firefighters has skyrocketed over the previous couple of years. Now, there's a lot of work left to be done here. If those winds kick up and start pushing around embers from fires like that, it could trigger new fires in places that haven't yet burned. It's going to be a long couple days ahead.
Well, Matt, you're right about that. With so many acres burned and still so many hot spots smoldering out there, once these winds pick up, we're going to see an activity pick up as well in this fire, and likely more new fires sparked throughout the day today. Of course, what happened in Northern California is what started this whole thing, and it's a much bleaker scenario up there this morning where more bodies have been found. Let's get it over to Will Carr, who's once again live in Paradise. Hello, Will.
Good morning, Rob. There's still a number of people missing across this area, largely because there's no cell phone service and because the damage is so extensive. You can see the face of this building has been ripped off, and as you're walking along, it looks like a bomb exploded across this community, leaving nothing but rubble and heartbreak.
The death toll jumping in California's most destructive fire ever. Campfire scorching more than 100,000 acres, destroying more than 6,700 homes and buildings. This weekend, Paradise looks like a war zone.
You don't have anything else?
What I was wearing Thursday.
Sean Field is one of 27,000 people desperate to see what's left.
Do you have any idea if your home's still standing?
No.
Not at all.
I just asked the PG&E guy if I could pay him to take a picture.
The images are ghastly. Homes turned to rubble, cars charred for miles, empty gurneys snaking outside the local hospital.
This is what's left of the cardiology unit. You can see twisted steel and debris. There's really not much left.
A nurse at the hospital, lucky to be alive, recalling the moments when she narrowly escaped.
I couldn't stay there. The fire was right on me. My pants were catching on fire, and I thought I was going to die right there. I banged on the door, and 2 firefighters jumped out, extinguished me, put me in the fire engine, put a fire blanket over me, and out of nowhere, a dozer came through and saved our lives and cleared a path.
Exhausted firefighters lining the roads before heading back up to the front lines. Law enforcement and Good Samaritans working around the clock to help the countless animals, smoke-covered and starving, roaming the streets.
As fast as this fire hit, there was no time for people to get their animals out, and people don't want to leave without their animals.
For some, a ray of hope through the dense smoke, a community pulling together as volunteers hand out supplies to residents impacted by the fires. And in another community, a son receives good news about his mother who hadn't been seen.
I'm looking for my mom, Barb Allen. I'm hoping she's listening to call her son, her daughter. If anybody's seen her, flyers are all over the place. Where?
More good news. The containment numbers have jumped to 20% with this fire, but we're expecting strong winds throughout the course of the day. And of course, the damage here in Paradise has already been done. Rob.
Well, I tell you, we are searching for any sort of good news. There's no doubt about that. Any kind of containment is welcome. Yesterday, we talked to a number of victims of this fire. I came across one man who was witnessing another home burn alongside of me, and we got to know his story. He actually evacuated his home during the frantic night of the fire, spent the night in the parking lot of the safety of the beach, and had not seen his home or heard about what had happened. So we went back to his home to check it out, navigating the treacherous roadways, and this is what we found yesterday.
We tried to stay as long as we could. It's just a tornado hit. I wanted to get back up there, see if any horses survived, see if what we got left.
How are you holding up emotionally?
Tough. Real tough.
Where is your place? Where do you live?
Right here.
Oh, so your house is all right.
Yeah.
That's got to be a relief.
It made it. I mean, it's emotional.
I bet. You can imagine the emotions running through that man. Yes, he left 6 of his horses behind, and he tended to them as soon as he got home. The number of people hopefully will be more relieved in the coming days, but the problem is we have anxious moments, as I mentioned ahead. The Santa Anas are coming back. So let's take a look at this situation. We've got basically 2 pulses of upper-level energies that will support more offshore winds, not just here in Southern California, but Northern California as well. So a number of fire weather alerts and wind alerts with high wind warnings posted, especially for the mountains. And obviously air quality is certainly bad. So we're not just critical, we are extremely critical with winds gusting to 60+ miles per hour and single-digit relative humidity. And gusts that will be easily over 20, 30, 40 miles an hour, not just today, but it looks like tomorrow as well. So the weather situation not improving anytime soon. Much more on this throughout the program. Guys, back over to you.
Rob, we really appreciate you and your team bringing this story to us this morning. And as you say, the weather conditions increasingly treacherous. We'll stay on this story throughout the show this morning. We are now, though, going to move on to the other big story of the morning. It is official. 5 days after the polls closed, we're heading into another recount in the crucial swing state of Florida.
Slim margins of victory in 2 major races, including one for Senate and the other for governor, are triggering mandatory recounts. ABC's Victor Oquendo has more.
This morning, the fight for Florida is far from over. The Secretary of State ordering a recount in races still too close to call. State law requiring a machine recount when the leading candidate's margin is half a percentage point or less. In the governor's race, GOP candidate Ron DeSantis held a slight lead against his Democratic rival Andrew Gillum of about 33,000 votes, falling under that half-point threshold. And for U.S. Senate, it's even tighter. Republican Governor Rick Scott ahead of Democrat Senator Bill Nelson by 0.15 percentage points, about 12,000 votes out of more than 8 million ballots cast. Anger from those on both sides of the political divide pouring out onto the streets with accusations of voter fraud, voter suppression, and abuse of power. Gillum had conceded to DeSantis on election night, but with results narrowing, a reversal.
I am replacing my words of concession with an uncompromised and unapologetic call that we count every single vote.
Meanwhile, DeSantis already looking ahead.
Since the election a few days ago, we have begun our transition efforts to build an administration that can secure Florida's future.
In the contentious battle for the Senate, where lawsuits have been filed by both camps, Scott claims Nelson is trying to steal the election, tweeting, "It's time Senator Nelson accept these results and allows the state of Florida to move forward to a better future." While Nelson accuses Scott of attempting to stop officials from counting every ballot.
Back now live. Victor, these races are going to go through a machine recount. What's the difference between that and a manual recount?
Eva, that machine recount means that all of those ballots will be refed through the counting machines, and those results are due by Thursday. But if any of these races still fall within a 1/4 percentage point, then they turn to a hand recount, but only for specific ballots. They'll be looking at over and under votes, and simply put, those are ballots where people perhaps voted for too many candidates or no candidates. Guys?
All right, thanks, Victor Kendo in Florida for us. And President Trump is spending this Veterans Day in France, where this morning he attended a ceremony marking the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I.
ABC's senior national correspondent Terry Moran is in Paris with the details. Terry, good morning.
Good morning, guys. It's another gray and rainy day here in Paris, and the city is still and somber for the centenary anniversary of the end of World War I. President Trump joining more than 60 other world leaders for a beautiful, poignant ceremony under the Arc de Triomphe behind me. President also sharing a handshake with Vladimir Putin, although the two did not speak. It was President Macron of France who gave the only speech here, and it was a remarkable rebuke of things that President Trump stands for. Macron declaring that the memory of that awful war shows how, in his words, nationalism, which President Trump has embraced, is the betrayal of true patriotism. But there was business done here as well at a dinner last night. President Erdogan of Turkey seen talking with President Trump. The White House saying the two discussed that murder of Jamal Khashoggi, the Saudi journalist in Istanbul. President Erdogan saying that his government has shared an audio tape of that killing inside the Saudi consulate with the U.S. and other countries. All that putting pressure on Saudi Arabia and on the U.S.-Saudi alliance. Dan?
Terry Moran reporting in from France this morning. Terry, thank you. A lot to talk about this morning, so let's bring in our chief anchor, George Stephanopoulos, who's going to be hosting This Week later this morning. George, good morning to you. Trump is at that ceremony this morning over in France. He's taking some heat, though, for missing yesterday's ceremony commemorating the end of World War I. Other leaders made it. The White House is blaming rain for not being able to make it. As somebody who has served in a White House, does the rain explanation make sense to you?
Well, the rain could have kept, if the president was planning on taking Marine One, the helicopter, to the ceremony, the rain could have grounded the helicopter, but that wouldn't stop him from driving. I guess it was about 55 miles, and not only other foreign leaders, but General Kelly, General Dunford, both made it to the ceremony. I guess the president, just for whatever reason, maybe he was exhausted, just didn't want to go yesterday.
5 days on another subject here, 5 days, and this is a subject that clearly is getting the president's attention because he's tweeting about it. We're 5 days after the election. It looks like the Republicans may not have gained as much in the Senate as we thought. We've got recount in Florida, and in Arizona, the Democrat is making gains. What does a smaller majority mean to the president?
It's still a bigger majority than they had, though. No matter what, even the absolute worst case scenario at this point, and I think that's unlikely, the Republicans will pick up one seat in the Senate to go from 51 to 52. That's still pretty strong right there. I think, you know, the president had some hopes on Tuesday night when it looked like he might be able to win Montana, when we didn't know about Nevada and Arizona. I think he had some hopes that maybe the Republicans will pick up 3, 4, 5 seats. That is not going to happen right now, but they still are going to have control. Of course, much more significant to the president is the fact that Democrats now look like they could take close to 40 seats in the House. Solid control for the Democrats. That's trouble for the president.
So you've got some leading Democrats on the show this morning to talk about possible investigations of the president. Meanwhile, Axios is reporting this morning that House Democrats, and this is their quote, they plan to investigate whether President Trump abused White House power by targeting the Washington Post and the CNN. How significant is this?
Well, that's getting at the president's calling the media the enemy of the people, and whether he tried, because Amazon Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, whether he tried to get the Postmaster General to take some action against them, whether he interfered in the CNN merger. You know, one of the things you're going to see here, what's significant about it is that basically because the president had his own party in control over the last 2 years, he had 2 years without any oversight or investigations at all. That all changes once the Democrats take control. Those are two issues. The emoluments clause is another issue. The idea that the Democrats might get the president's tax returns, another one. A whole host of policy issues, investigations of cabinet members. It's a brand new world.
Brand new world, but still as wild as the one we've been covering for the last 2 years. George Stephanopoulos, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it. I want to remind everybody, George has a big show this morning. He's going to speak, as we mentioned, with the Democratic Congressman Elijah Cummings and Gerald Nadler, the incoming chairs of 2 key committees who may lead investigations of the Trump administration. Plus, he'll go one-on-one with Counselor to the President Kellyanne Conway. It's all coming up on This Week, later this morning, right here on ABC.
Let's go back now to Rob Marciano, who's out there in Malibu covering the fires. And Rob, these fires impacting hundreds of thousands of people in California, and the threat far from over this morning.
That's right. And every time we get a cold pulse of air east of the Rocky Mountains, that exacerbates the Santa Ana events. And that's what we're going to see here in the next couple of days. Cold air has been pouring east, and we've had snow, over a foot of it, across parts of western New York as a lake effect snow machine cranks. And that means wind chills that are far below the freezing mark, with this next cold blast of air diving down across the eastern, really 2/3 of the country, and below freezing wind chills as far south as Atlanta, Georgia. So winter is coming. That's Check on the Weather Headline.